Hello, greetings. I'm in a bad network, guys. Where I am here, it is very bad. So, greetings. My name is Ezra Tshisa. Can see you, mucha.
Ezra ziyahlupha namhlanje Thai.
Yeah, go ahead, Ty.
Take over malume usipha ama-results ngoba uTshisa ungathi i-network yakhe vele izobe better
Go ahead, Brian.
Brian is the host. Where's Brian? He hosts the show.
angimboni ngibona isilinga ngathi mbani okusilinga isilinga kabani la
Brian.
I think no Brian network yakhe ibingathi iyabheda. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Siyazostela siyi-2 malume sizikhulumele nge-Arsenal the whole night or the whole show. Hey, so if you just discuss Arsenal, you need some time with you to spend with Arsenal.
So, anyways, I'm going to tell results Thai while we're waiting for them.
Okay. Let me just bring out my results from my computer because I wasn't expecting to my results. Now
Okay.
Brian saying
Brian, we're waiting for you to host us, my guy. Ezra Apana network is bad, so we're waiting for you. You have no sound, Brian. No sound.
Yep. Is that better?
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
Brilliant. So yeah, this weekend was the FA Cup weekend, third round. So a lot of games. I'll just pick out a few that were relevant, especially Premier League teams or Championship teams that everyone is sort of very familiar with. So third round, the first game we had in the FA Cup third round was Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Liverpool comfortably won that game by 4-1. We also had Newcastle versus Arsenal. Arsenal won that game by 2-1. We had Leicester City versus Stoke City.
2-0.
2-0. Yes, you're right. Sorry, Malume. We had Leicester City versus Stoke City. Leicester won that game comfortably by 4-0. Bournemouth versus Oldham Athletic. Bournemouth 1, Bournemouth 4, Oldham 1. We also had Burnley, who drew 1-0 with MK Dons, but won the game via penalty shootout after extra time. Queen's Park Rangers played Fulham, and Fulham won by 2-0. West Brom drew 2-0 with Blackpool, and Blackpool advanced to the next round after a penalty shootout. We also had Derby County, who lost 2-0 to Chorley. Very interesting result there. Norwich City won 2-0 versus Coventry. And another big game that was won was Wolverhampton versus Crystal Palace. Wolverhampton 1, Crystal Palace 0. And we also had Leeds United versus Crawley. Crawley won that game very comfortably, 3-0. Chelsea won 4-0 versus Morecambe. Manchester City won 3-0 versus Birmingham. Barnsley 2-0 versus Tranmere. And then we had Tottenham, who won 5-0 versus Marine. So those are some of the games. Quite a lot of games to go through when it comes to the FA Cup through the third round. But some notable surprises. Gentlemen, what happened to Leeds? Everyone talks about Leeds being a high-energy team. They went and met Crawley, who are in League 2. And all of a sudden, Crawley looked like they were Manchester City when they were playing Leeds.
Wow, what the results. I was watching that game, actually. I think, I don't know whether the Leeds players were not ready for it or what. I think the other team was motivated or something, because even though the pitch didn't help the Leeds, but both set of teams were playing in the same pitch, so I don't understand what happened to Leeds. Really, they were not in the game. The goalkeeper made some couple of mistakes as well. The pitch was bumpy and the balls were just bouncing off the ground and then passing him. Yeah, that was a big surprise for the FA Cup. That's the FA Cup for you.
But then are we not doing a disservice to Crowley, because we're talking about the pitch, we're talking about all this and that? Surely any footballer, especially if you're playing in the highest standard, you would have played some games in a slightly lower standard and have played in those sort of pitches. Surely if you're a professional footballer playing in the top of your trade, a pitch should be the least of your concern, because you should be good enough by right to play football in any surface.
Yeah, as a professional footballer, you have to be prepared for anything. That's why you first walk in the ground, you see what type of boost to use and all those kind of things. But whether it was lack of game time from the Leeds players or something, I don't know. But Crowley was very motivated, I guess. That's what I can say to them. I can say about them.
Wow.
We're talking about Leeds versus Crowley. Lume.
For me, I didn't watch that game. I actually didn't watch that game, and it was a surprise result for me as well. So I don't have much to comment on that. I didn't look into it, but I want to suspect Uti they went with the Batelele. They went with a very mediocre team to play against Crowley, and Crowley came all guns firing. That's my suspicion. I don't have much to contribute to that one.
But
Eita, Lishap Merchants, and everybody watching. I think Leeds, they had a good enough team to win against Crowley. But these games, I'm a one-off games, Lawa. It's anyone's game really. And I think I've said before, sometimes when you play these big teams, sometimes, especially in cup games, you just get motivated. You know what? I can do this, and you just put up a fight. And if when you make it difficult for your opponent to beat you, the chances are you will get a result. So I think that's what Crowley did, and I think was it the second goal? It was quite an error from the goalkeeper, So that Leeds goalkeeper as well is a bit suspect sometimes.
we speak quite. Yeah, go on.
At the same time, what I want to say, you can't have players in the Premier League complaining that they are not playing, and then you give them a chance, they do that. You understand? Because as a Premier League player, you train week in, week out. You have to be prepared anytime, so that when the opportunity comes, you are prepared, and then you can even go to the manager's door and knock and say, "Why I'm not playing?" But if I play you and you produce something like that.
No, there's a difference. There's a difference between fitness and match fitness. Those like me who have played football, they know.
Don't stop you
like me.
like me.
They know. You can ask me. There's match fitness and there's fitness.
No,
that is true.
I can build that fitness here, running around my house, jogging around. But when it comes to match fitness, where you are fit to run for 90 minutes, that's a different ball game.
I understand the match fitness thing, but what I'm saying is you are training every week. You are told there's under 23 play games that you play. You are told you're playing this week. Surely you have to be prepared to die for the team.
But not all of them play. Not all of them play in that under 23 side for match fitness. It's you probably find maybe it's only a couple who are coming from injuries where they try them out in the under 23s, and then once they know that they can cope with the game now, and then they get put in.
No, you know what? I think we baby them too much.
Difference. Yeah, how many places difference from Leeds and to the Crawley? I think there was mention about 60 something places,
63 spaces, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to be, as a professional, you have to be ready anytime to be thrown in. What if a team has injuries? You can't come and say, I don't need match fitness, blah, blah, blah.
I think at the end of the day, we baby footballers quite a lot because I always draw my experiences from playing both football and playing American football at the same time at a decent level. I think with American football, you can spend 2 years on a bench, not even played one game, 2 full years being a rider. And when a serious injury occurs, they just tell you go in middle of the game.
As a
and you go
professional,
in and you have to perform.
You have to perform every day, all day long.
Yeah, and we don't bet an eyelid in American football and say, oh, what the rule in American football is simple: next man up. The next person who is ready to take in that position should be the next person up. And I think in football we've got this whole, oh no, let's give him a bit of time. Listen, you're a professional footballer earning £100,000 a week, £100,000 a week. Put your boots on, go and play football. If you're fit, you will figure it out as you go. As the game goes, you will figure it out.
Yeah,
you will figure it out.
If matters be, you have to die on the pitch. If it requires, you have to die there.
As well as a car, the money
that you're earning is not a change. You have to go in there and perform. Because remember, the game is only 10%. The game that is you played on 1 week is only 10%. The 90% is the training, the preparation that you go through the whole season, off season, every day in training and all those kind of things. The football match is only 10% of your salary. So all you are getting paid to train, you are getting paid to prepare.
That's very true. And as we move on, guys, right? Currently, there's a game going on, just going into the 55th minute. We've got Newcastle United versus Sheffield United. Currently, it's 0-0. Newcastle have got a red card to one of their players. So hopefully that gives Sheffield a little bit of motivation to go forward. But we all know Newcastle can be very stubborn. We move on, guys. Looking at the FA Cup as well. Manchester City played Birmingham. Manchester City are starting to look dangerous. Should we all start getting worried now? Because, my goodness, some of the football being played in Manchester, it's like they have this half an hour to 40 minutes where they play outstanding football and play you out of the park, and then they sit back and relax. What do you guys think about Manchester City?
Well, for me, they've always been dangerous. It's just a matter of getting the right players in being fit and the right players to start performing to the coach's expectations. You see, what was happening in Manchester City, they were lacking goals, with Aguero out and so forth. But it seems like Guardiola has finally figured that whole attack line out properly. So they are really playing well. It was only going to be a matter of time, I want to believe.
When I look at championship winning sides, I want to dare to say that for a team to win championship, to win the Premier League, the goals need to come from everywhere. You can't depend on strikers to just score the goals. You won't win the league. But if you see your goals coming from defenders, midfielders, strikers, everything, then you've got it. I dare to say you'll have a chance of winning the league. The goals have got to come from anywhere. So yes, Man City, we've said before, this issue which they didn't have a striker, I think was impacting on them. But once they figured out how to get the goal still, then yeah, they will be on a roll. But without an out striker.
Okay. I would like to say something different about Man City, the positive and the negative as well. With the positive one, I'll start with the positive. Man City, we all know, Pep is like an orchestra conductor. They like to control the game. They like to play it how they want it. Fast, keep possession or slow it down. Just control all the tempo. But remember, on the negative side, coming to goals, remember, Pep is the first guy. Is it? Yeah, I think it's him who introduced this playing without a striker, with the false number 9. So with him, he can play that system.
He's not the first guy. This goes back to Johan Cruyff, where he's the one that established you can actually play a game without a striker.
From Barcelona,
I'm tired. Don't discredit the great man that is Johan Cruyff like that. Come on, brother.
Come on, Tom.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's the one.
Behave yourself, man. Come on.
But he's the guy who at the professional level, you did that, and it worked for him.
And Villamas Wako keep going round because you can't say Johan Cruyff at the professional level. This guy was the coach at Ajax and Barcelona. Come on, brother. And one of the greatest footballers.
Listen. Johan Cruyff, you introduced a different style. He played without the first number 9. He played that system, total football. That you play football from the back and all those type of things. When he was playing with the Dutch national team, we had the strikers, the good strikers were always with the Dutch football. So what I'm saying is, for Pep, it's not an excuse to come up with a striker, but you got that guy, Jesus, Jesus. You understand? So you always have to perform. I think Pep sometimes gets too clever for himself. He likes to twinkle things a lot, So sometimes he gets caught up on that system that he likes to twinkle things a lot.
You mentioned a player there. I wanted to get to this very quickly. What do you think of Jesus and Phil Foden? What's wrong with Jesus? Because there's sometimes when he's playing, he takes up excellent positions, but something is quite missing. And then you got Phil Foden, who also, is one of those players that you don't necessarily see him in the game, but he produces very good passes and he keeps the ball moving. So 2 questions really. Do you think Phil Foden is a top class player? And secondly, Jesus. What's wrong with Jesus?
Jesus, what I can say is Jesus angimesabi. I would ngesabu Aguero more than Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus is not there yet for me. He's shown glimpses here, and there's not a consistent performer, as you said.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Phil Foden, I don't want to hype him up too much. He's still young. He's still got a long way to go. This is probably his first season where he's sort of like getting more game time. So I'm not convinced yet, but I think Man City are more dangerous when they have him in the team as well.
For me, I think they're exceptional good players. They're very good players. Jesus, my comment about Jesus is that he came in, he was firing, he was doing well, and then he got injured. Injuries disturb players. Some players take a while to come back and get back to their level of playing after an injury. So this is what happened with that young man. He came in and he was firing from all cylinders. Then he went away for a while and struggled with an injury. Now he's coming back. I think he's slowly getting back to the Jesus that we were introduced to by Pep.
Yeah. I think culture is a very funny thing.
For a while,
it takes a while.
That depends again what sort of injury you've had. Look at the guys that go through knee and ankle injuries. They take forever to come back to their best because you're always worried. If I twist it this way, if I do this, it's a never-ending thing.
You're just being careful. You cannot commit yourself that much because they don't like to stay out of being like that. It's not easy.
I was going to comment on how funny a culture is in general, because culturally, can you imagine people will be like, what is this?
Which is us?
Can you imagine it? People will be like, I'm a pilang. Like, what's wrong with them? And look at Chelsea. They looked okay. Fair enough, they're playing a very low league team in Morecambe, but they looked quite okay going forward. Timo Werner finally got a goal for himself or 2 or whatever he got. Is this a stepping stone for Chelsea? Or was this just a point of, okay, we did something against a low-level team, But then when we go back to the Premier League, things are going to be slightly different.
Yeah, with Chelsea, that's the same thing that we're talking, remember, about Leeds, that when you're playing these lower level teams, you have to perform. You understand?
Yeah.
I think the same thing that Lampard did is it will give them confidence going forward. But you expect in such games, or like they are lucky, the Chelseas, the Tottenhams, to get those, even the draw again, they get those minor teams, you just go to the next round. But without the supporters as well, the other teams, they don't have that extra thing to motivate them. If you are playing away, you're going away to Chelsea, whether 40,000 Stamford Bridge supporters there, you get motivated, and sometimes with this empty stadium as well, sometimes it just demoralizes you. You just go there and just roll over. They slap you and they go back home.
I just think, yes, winning games is a motivator and a confidence booster. But sometimes, as a professional lawyer who was, okay, we just beat Morecambe. It was expected that we'll beat them anyway. So I don't think it will be much of a confidence boost. Yes, it's a win under their belt, but it's not that much of a boost. They will know when they come back to the Premier League that, okay, we're back to the men's game now, where the boys are separated from the boys from the men. So, let's wait and see what
is. Let me not talk about Chelsea because I'll keep going on and on. Because I'm looking at it and thinking, Kai Havertz, oh my goodness, what a waste of bloody cash that was. What a waste of money. Was it 75 million? How much was it in time, Kai Havertz? Can you imagine spending so much money on trash?
Who was 90? I remember there was one who cost about 90 in there. I can't remember who it is, but because they bought so many players, there's Ziyech, I think he was 30-something, and then there was one who was 40-something, and then there was one, I think he was 90 there, so I can't remember who was, but yeah, they quite spent a bit of money there.
Is he playing them in the right positions, though? Because there was this other week, I had this argument where they were saying Timo Werner is, sometimes he plays as a striker, but he's not really a striker. He's an attacking midfielder. I don't know. I'm not sure. I never knew these players before they came to Man City, to Chelsea. Sorry. So I don't know whether are they in the right position? Is Lampard maybe playing the right formation or not?
Ziyech is a winger by trade. Timo Werner is a striker, plays up top, sometimes can play out wide and filter in. And then Kai Havertz is an attacking midfielder. But then the thing is that he's had Timo Werner out wide quite more than what Timo wants. And then he would prefer Giroud or what's his name?
Tammy Abraham
up top.
The championship striker.
But Ziyech is still playing out wide. I think the only trouble there's been is that Kai Havertz can't control the game in the Premier League at the moment, because in Germany he would control the game. He'll get the ball, turn, do as he wishes. Dele Alli. When you think of Kai Havertz at his best, think of a very good Dele Alli.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best person I can compare him. On the half turn, make the pass. But I don't know what's going on. I just think he's not getting enough time. As we transition into the Premier League in a minute, and we talk more about the Premier League, the game is still going on. Newcastle and Sheffield United still 0-0. Two trash teams just trashing it out together.
No, you can't transition to the Premier League without mentioning two Premiership that.
This is what I'm saying. As we transition into the Premier League, let's talk about Arsenal, and then after Arsenal, we'll talk about Manchester United. Because Manchester United even fits better. We'll talk about the FA Cup and then move into how they might do against Burnley tonight, 8 p.m. kickoff GMT time. So Arsenal, are they starting to look good? That kid Smith Rowe is looking pretty decent, isn't he? Even though he was meant to be sent off.
No, Brian. Don't start with that. No, Brian.
Come on, Brian. Come on, man.
Behave yourself.
Behave yourself, Brian.
If it wasn't Arsenal, if it was any other team, I'm telling you, they would be clamoring with that.
Hey, he was meant to be sent off.
What are you guys talking about?
Come on.
You know,
just come on, man.
Starting with that one.
Starting with
that one.
Listen, I'll say this.
The VAR, for the first time, I see them doing their job. For the first time, I can give credit to VAR. This season, for this reason, it was good to introduce that thing.
Oh,
come on. You're better than that.
Absolutely.
Listen. I personally, and when I saw that tackle, that my first impression when I saw it, even when I saw the reverse, I just said no, that was accidental. I don't think he meant to harm anyone.
It was not even a tackle. He was trying to kick the ball away.
Yeah. Yes. So I think the right decision was made there.
Thank you.
Come on, guys. What you like this?
VAR is good because Namsha
that's the only thing VAR is good for. But mentioning with Arsenal as well, I was disappointed. I was disappointed a lot by a lot of players there. The thing that we keep mentioning of game time and all these things, we have players there who cost Arsenal about 30 million. This guy from Chelsea, what's his name? Willian. His salaries for 3 seasons will cost us. That's a 30 million mistake. And then you've got this Pepe guy as well. This guy, you think to be them, call them senior players, but they put them, they don't do nothing. They give you 4 calls. And then you have to call the big guns, ESR. ESR came in and changed the game and all these other young kids. And then they're mentioning also, not forgetting to mention Ogut on the Arsenal game, or to mention about Martinelli. I hope and they pray we're not going back to the system, going to that old system of losing great players, young players. Because if I think of that injury and think of Jack Wilshere, how we lost Jack Wilshere and how we lost Abu Diaby as well. When players constantly get injured, I get worried and frustrated because of the experience that I'm talking of those 2 great players that could have been great players. But other than that,
great players that could have been great players. And who develop a team and players. When your team doesn't have players, you just claim anyone and everything. That's the problem.
Jack Wilshere, you can't say he wasn't a great player. He showed against Barcelona the biggest threat of them all. But the injuries hampered his progress. Oh man, what could have been? And then also Abu Diaby, you showed some glimpses there that what could have been if it wasn't for injuries. Now Martinelli is coming right, and then these things they keep striking. Oh gosh, I can't take it.
That's
penalty to Sheffield United.
That's a penalty. I knew that was coming. The way he moves his hand, he knocks the ball out of the guy's way.
He's almost punching the ball down, and as he's going in for the tackle. So at the moment, VAR has reviewed it and given.
So my analysis of the Arsenal game, the only problem that I had with that game is that I disagreed with what my manager did. For me, he should have gone in with a very good team to kill the game and then do the subs, because he had to come back and start trying to kill the game afterwards. So that was my only comment about it. But yeah, the young players are coming up, right? Smith Rowe is coming up. They're injecting the right energy into the team. So an infusion of the young players, a mix of the young players and the senior players is seemingly working well. So we are seeing Pablo Mari stepping in there, good defense, and then if Gabriel comes in, we are slowly getting a team Elamadota, not a team with boys. We need to get away. We need to move Pepe out. At least Pepe, like I said, Pepe needs to go on a feeding scheme. That man is too weak. He's too skinny. He cannot shield the ball. He cannot protect the ball. So, once we get Gabriel back, we get Mpolo back, and with the youngsters playing, I think Arsenal is finally onto something now.
Don't you think sometimes when you, as a football fan, you realize how fickle football fans are? We forget very easily. Some years ago, somebody once said you can't win anything with kids. Is this not the case with Arsenal, that these kids eventually will be found out in the next few games, better players will smack them out of the game, and Arsenal might go back to exactly what they were a few weeks ago?
But Brian, answering you there.
As a neutral person.
No, I have to
as a neutral person. As a neutral.
Let him respond. Respond. Let us respond.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, that's the I think the problem. I always say this about English football. I don't get how people get signed with that condition. I'll have game time. My understanding of getting picked was that you train at the training pitch. However you train, how you fit in the team, and how you perform. That's how the manager gets to see okay, this person is going to fit into my team. But that's why you have these boys ending up, like Brian said, after a few days, maybe you'll have a downer performance, and then the next thing, a big gun is put in, and that's the last time you'll see that boy. Maitland-Niles was rumored to be going out on loan. Before you knew it, Arsenal had an injury, and then they played him, and all of a sudden he's now a hero. But Arsenal were looking to ship him.
Come on, yes, we cannot dwell on rumors. We hear rumors every day. Rumors are there every day. Don't talk about rumors, Nta. Come on.
There's no smoke without fire.
Rumors are there every time. As long as the news has not been said by the manager or it's not official on the website, don't worry about that. We want to talk about things that's happening. Brian was about young player. That's what Brian was asking.
The question. Don't deviate.
Answer the question.
Yeah, but I'm answering your question.
You're not.
And these big guns, these big names, because those big names are costing you guys in the wage package, and somehow the board will be thinking, these guys, why are we paying these guys so much money? Let's play them.
Okay.
Can you imagine a team that has so many players?
Let me answer that question, because it seems let me answer you that question. I'll give you a perfect example to answer that question. If you remember Manchester United's team of Alex Ferguson, of what do they call it? The class of 92. Is it 92?
Ryan Giggs, Phil Neville, those guys.
Yeah, those were kids. David Beckham, I think he promoted about 5 of them, those kids. They went ahead and did wonders. And then coming back to Arsenal, comparing the previous Arsenal and this current Arsenal. The previous Arsenal Wenger had put so many kids at one time. Understand? If you look at the back line, the kids, midfield kids, strikers kids. Now the difference is the kids that are in there. It's Saka, Gabi Martinelli, and ESR, Emil Smith. Yeah, that's ESR. And then if you look at other places, other positions, you can't call the right Bellerin a youngster. He's been there. Maybe Kieran Keane, you can call him a youngster because it's his first season. The keeper is experienced. Aubameyang, Lacazette, all that experience. So it's a good blend of experience and youth as well. That rejuvenating the team. The youth actually is doing the good job. They have to put that energy in. You understand?
Right. So let me help you as well, Apanatai. There has got to be a blend of young players and senior players in every team. That's what always happens in every club. They always have youngsters that come in and they help the team and be cooler. Also, comparing Arsene Wenger's team of youngsters and now is highly unfair. There's a history there that was happening. We were building the stadium, and Arsene Wenger, they were trying to save money, and he managed to stay at the top level with the kids, always in the Champions League. Don't forget about that. So yes, youngsters, there is a blend of youngsters and senior players at Arsenal. So it is at Manchester United. So it is at Chelsea. So it is at Liverpool. Every club always has 2 or 3 youngsters playing in the team. So there's no case there. Sometimes, even going up. That's how
you answer questions. You go straight to the point. You don't jigga. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
That's how
Pretty much the same thing that I've said.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
That's not what you say.
Have I not mentioned you would play, the young players get played and then they get changed over to the big club, big guys.
The problem, you see,
tell us whether they will win or they want to win.
My problem with Arsenal is a very simple one. And I think I get where Ty is coming from. Where the problem with Arsenal is that with these young guys that are in there, all it takes is for them to have one bad game and then they're replaced back with Willian or some random useless player that you guys have in your wage bill. The difference.
What are you talking about?
Wait. The difference now with Liverpool and all the other teams that have youngsters is those youngsters are established in their position. Look at Ulokuzenu Trent. Trent took that position from Klein when Klein was injured, and he established himself in that position. Other than that, there's no other youngster. There's no other youngster that established themselves in the Liverpool team. There's no, Brian. That's my fear with the Arsenal. Let me finish my point. Manini. 1 second. The problem I'm having with Arsenal, your first team, quote unquote, first team players, you have a lot of high caliber first team players in terms of Willian, Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang. All those guys will want game time. Ozil wants game time even though he's not in the squad. So my point is, you have a lot of very good players that are not in good form. And all it takes is that youngster having a bad day and all of a sudden he's substituted, never to be seen again. This is where my fear and problem with Arsenal is. It's not a case of saying you can't blend in the youngsters.
You know what I'm saying? You know what Klopp did? Klopp had experienced players. The same point that Malume was saying. You have your experienced players, or Anderson, Van Dijk, you had to go and buy those players. He said, okay, I need experience. Pambilomane, he didn't come as a youngster. Usala is not a youngster. Bobby is not a youngster. In key position, you've got those experienced players. And then here and there, you introduce small young players. They blend in because they
this young player at Liverpool. If you're going to talk about my club and as they were blended in, because right now there's only 2 youngsters that play consistently in Liverpool.
It's the same players that you're talking about. You right back, the left back. They're young players that
left back. Come on, you can't say Robertson.
Yeah, that's Scottish guy. Yeah, that's Scottish guy.
Come on, behave yourself. Robertson is not a young player. Come on, you're better than this. Come on, buddy.
Let's
go.
Brian.
Come on.
If we say okay, so
maybe you can say Jones. Which Jones? Maybe it's
Jones and Trent.
Jones and William.
And Trent. Trent, we know he's exceptional. He's an exceptional player. There's no 2 ways about it.
I know. Let's say Liverpool doesn't have what we call it, young players, then and stop the argument then.
What we're trying to say. What we're trying to say. Just to close that point off. I think what is making it Arsenal is that belief in those young players. What Wenger used to do. He used to play those young players in the FA Cups, in the Carabao Cups, and sometimes, he'll blend them in when he's playing Europa League. But
Guys.
when it comes to the current management, it's because they're not sure of their performances and they need to keep on improving. That's why you'll see they will probably put them now when they really need them. And again, if they fail, you will see again that old crop again, same recycling the old stuff.
So let me say this. When you're analyzing football and when you're analyzing a football club, please do not analyze based on your personal feelings and or your arguments about. Let us be straightforward with this, Majid. Mana, let me tell you, let me show you. I want to show you, Pelamta. Hold on, I want to show you. You're analyzing young players at Arsenal.
But
these young players, you're analyzing them based on which season?
2 games.
Let me ask you 2. Yeah?
2 games. 3 games.
2 games. You're analyzing them based on 3
this
games.
Is exactly.
Hold on. I'm coming back to you. And the history it takes one player and they're going under the current management. You're analyzing based on what again? Where is your data?
My point is this. And my point is this. You have too many international good players on that side that those kids have taken the places of. This is where my problem is. It's not to say that the kids are not good.
Let's name them.
Pepe is one. Willian is another. They've replaced those guys.
Hold on. Pepe, no Willian, they are playing and they get substituted. Okay.
Oh, come on. Last 2 games did they start? Did Willian start the last 2 Premier League games?
Remember, Willian again, Willian why because he had contact with people with coronavirus. He did not play.
This is exactly the point. He's then the young kids have taken the places of Willian, right? Mm-hmm. They're having consistently good games, but all it takes is one bad game.
They have been given the opportunity to play, and they are playing. If they're playing well, and we have senior players that are on the bench, what's wrong with that? I don't understand where the problem is.
Are you saying then after his quarantine now, Willian can just walk back into that team?
That's why I'm walking back. That's why they said Pentin coming in from the
FA Cup.
Willian is not good enough, well, anyways.
I'm trying to understand.
I still don't understand what these guys are saying.
What is the point, Brian? Are you saying?
I don't want the problem, and you're looking at it very emotionally. This is not an emotional debate. Let's not be emotional about it. Because right now, let's look at the last game.
Coach is doing things around, and it's working. And
let's look at. No. I'm not complaining. Actually, I am very fearful more than anything else. We look at the last game, right? The last game, Susaka, was it Emil Smith Rowe and Aubameyang, and then up top Lacazette, right?
No.
But my point is the last Premier League game. No, the last Premier League game. Game. And but my point is this, and now my point is Usaka and Emil Smith Rowe are easily replaced by who? Pepe and Willian, quite easily. And he's tried this thing of playing Willian as a number 10.
You cannot replace Saka with any of those 2 players. Never.
Yeah, this is what you're saying. But my point is, this is what I'm saying. My point is, if any of those 2 boys, Smith Rowe or Saka, have a terrible half, for one reason or another, because they've gone to Sheffield United, they've gone to Stoke on a Wednesday night, and they've been slogged all over the pitch. They've broken their legs.
Not there anymore, Brian. So
it's a fika. How it's a fika. It's Stoke on a Wednesday night. How?
That can happen to any player. It doesn't matter. He came in, got in that guy. He was our highest signing. He's really has played only a game and a half, if not just 2 games since. So what can you say?
Uzoli Pepe, lilalele matota lonke, you're listening. Osnice Pepe, you guys are listening. 2-3 weeks time, let's have this conversation again. Wongo Marcus Tabenwa, lilalele matota. We'll have this conversation again in 2 to 3 weeks time. When the young kids have a bad game, watch how they'll be treated. Why do I say that? Because football now is a results-based game. You have
Absolutely.
to win no matter what it takes.
Brian,
and if the boys have a bad game, they will be substituted.
Absolutely. Everyone in the game has a bad game, they get substituted. We're still here.
And you never see them again.
But sometimes for those players to perform, you sometimes have to appreciate what they are young and give them an opportunity for them to build that confidence to perform. So we'll see.
My argument is the only player that has played consistently as a young player is Saka. The other, Smith Rowe, has been coming in. He's being injected slowly. He has not been a regular. You must understand that.
Since I want a 2-3 weeks time, let's wait and see.
My argument, Brian, I was saying to you, don't argue, say young players, old players, and that players as well who performs must play. Who doesn't perform must go to the bench. Finish.
That I'll never dispute that, because I believe that it's all about your performance and your talent. But the problem that there is that in this world where you have guys that their contract will stipulate certain things because they're earning X amount. You have people on that bench there that are earning 200,000 and 250,000 pounds a week, and their contract stipulates they have to play X minimum of Premier League games a season. Some of them, their contract stipulate you have to play 25 games.
Yeah.
If they don't play 25 games, you have to pay an extra 200,000-300,000 pounds a week or whatever, how much it is.
Right.
So this is where the problem is with the Premier League, is that these young guys will come in and they will play very well. And you know what? I'm happy for the kids. They're playing well, they're enjoying football, and they're playing with extreme confidence. But then the problem is, as soon as they have 10 minutes of a very bad game, it was even worse when you had supporters in the stadium, especially teams like Arsenal, Villanova, my supporters in the stadium, like Chelsea. As soon as you have 10 minutes of a bad game, they start booing you. Then the kids' confidence dives.
We saw the same thing at Manchester United when they brought in.
They're talking about trash clubs or Manchester, Chelsea. Come on, talk about good teams. Liverpool, them kind of teams. We know how to look after our kids. Let's quickly move on, guys. Let's talk about Manchester United. Now, Manchester United in the FA Cup played Watford. They won that game by 1-0. Very laborious win. They managed to get past the team, but it was a very laborious win. They're playing Burnley in the next sort of about 10 minutes or so. So let's have a chat about that game, Burnley game. What do you think of the odds of Manchester United either winning this game and then going on to beat Liverpool on Sunday?
I think it will depend on the lineup. Whatever lineup. I haven't seen the lineup yet because
the lineup as it stands at the minute, Edson Cavani is up top. Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford are behind Cavani. Matic and Pogba are sitting behind those three. And then back four, you've got Luke Shaw, Maguire, Bali, Wan-Bissaka, and David De Gea on goal. Substitute, Juan Mata, Greenwood, Fred, James Henderson, goalkeeper, Telles, Van de Beek, Tenzebe, and Scott McTominay are on the bench. And then you look at the lineup, Burnley, you've got Barnes and Wood up top. And the midfield four of Brownhill, Westwood, Brady, and Goodmanson. Back four of Lawton, Troskowski, Peters, and Pope in goal, playing a conventional 4-4-2 versus a 4-2-3-1.
I can guarantee you he picked that team on height because he plays team. And he needs people to mark Utakowski, Benmi when they come in for these corners. Who really is, when it comes to crosses in the box, he'll be there. So I think his team is picked it based on height to match the height of the Burnley team. But I usually prefer managers to play to their strengths. So if we've got the attacking array that we've put so far, I think if we play our own game, I think we should beat Burnley.
Predictions on that game, Malume?
Oh, no. Manchester United is going to win that game at least 2-0.
I say 2-0 as well.
TY?
I don't care how many scores they're going to score, but I know Man United will win, and they'll beat Liverpool as well again. So... Manchester United are on a roll at the moment.
I have my $40 coming from Brian. Don't forget, guys.
Sunday.
I don't have anything against Liverpool. Liverpool, they're not playing their best football at the moment. Their front three is flat, no goals there. So yeah, it is what it is.
If that front three that are playing today, I think the only person that's probably not there is what Greenwood. So with that forward four, I can assure you, if we win today, we get the confidence to go to that Liverpool game. I can assure you we'll beat Liverpool.
This really long game, and this is the best part about these forums, is that I think this show per week average, we average over 2,000-3,000 people watching. And the beauty about this is that everyone watching next week, Tuesday, at this time, after Liverpool has played Manchester United, they'll be here. So it'll be nice to hear what guys say. People have boldly predicted and put across that Liverpool would lose against Manchester United. And let me remind you the amount of games we've won at Anfield in the past 3 seasons. None. Sorry. Listen, Koshi.
Man United are record breakers. But like I said,
so far.
I want to face Burnley first, and then I can talk about Liverpool.
Okay, fair enough. It's nearly the end of the game. Newcastle versus Sheffield United. It's 1-0 to Sheffield United. Andy Carroll has come on for Newcastle United. And you know when Andy Carroll is on, they will just lob it.
For Sheffield United, that's the first win.
Yep, first win. Yeah. But do you think that Sheffield United will stay up in any case? Because
they're going. It's looking precarious at the moment. This will be 5 points now.
Yeah.
This will be 5 points at this stage. I think they might be the lowest points team ever in the Premier League. I think last time it was, what team was it? Was it Leicester?
No, Derby.
No. Derby.
Managed by Mike Adams. Mike Adams, isn't it Adams? What's that guy called? Something Adams.
Mickey, is it Mickey? Yeah, I think it's Mickey.
Mickey Adams, yes. He was the one with the lowest points. 20
Looking
points.
Forward now to a couple of games going ahead. We've also got Everton and Wolverhampton Wanderers today. Everton, if they win today, they'll be 1 point behind Liverpool. Are Everton title contenders that we should start considering and worrying about? Because they had a bad patch, but all of a sudden they're looking okay.
No. I love the pressure. I love the pressure. You see, when there's a lot of teams hanging around at the top, you know, and I said it's quicky bump time. Go beyond this January month, and everybody is now sailing towards. That's how you separate the boys from the men. You will see.
Predictions: Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Everton. Any predictions tonight?
I think it's going to be a draw.
20 minutes. A draw there. Lumes.
I fancy Everton.
2-0, 1-0.
Yeah, small score, maybe 2-1.
Small.
Yeah, it should be tight though. It should be tight, but I'll go with Everton.
Lumes.
I you know what, I'm going for a tie on that game.
The problem is Wolverhampton start very, very slowly, and if they start very slowly, you know, Everton might just sneak something, you know, and you never know.
Tottenham versus Fulham, which is happening tomorrow, 8:15 GMT. This is happening at Tottenham Stadium. They haven't got a name for their stadium, so we'll just call it Tottenham Stadium. Tottenham Fulham. They've only been given very short notice for this game. This game was replacing Tottenham versus Aston Villa. Not only is the head coach for Fulham annoyed, so is Jose Mourinho also annoyed at the preparations. What are your thoughts on that game? Predictions?
I think the Spurs will win it because Fulham has been they've got a lot of games been postponed because of this virus. So I don't think they are ready match fitness wise and all those type of things. I'll go with Spurs for that game.
God. You were just talking about players being ready for any time. Now you say come on, don't treat yourself like that. Don't treat yourself like that.
Come on.
No, don't treat yourself like that.
Quick predictions, gents. Let's go. Quick predictions. I just need scorelines now. Let's go.
It's going to be a Spurs win, that one. Mourinho will just beat them ruthlessly.
Yes, Mourinho will win that game.
Loomis and then TY.
Scott Parker plays good game, but you lose against Mourinho.
And then Ty.
What I'm saying is that because the Fulham quarantined, I have to tell you they have been quarantined, they haven't been training, so they will lose.
And Sheffield United have won their first game of the season, 1-0, beating a 10-man Newcastle United. We move on to we've also got Manchester City versus Brighton tomorrow, 6 p.m. GMT kickoff, 8 p.m. Central African time. Man City Brighton, where are we going? Let's go. TY, let's go. Numbers, that's all I need. Numbers.
City.
Man City 2-1.
Loomis.
3-0, Man City.
3-0 Man City. Brighton have struggled, to be fair. They're like the drawing mentions of the team. We've got another London derby happening on Thursday. It's an 8 p.m. GMT kickoff. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace.
1-1.
But I'm going to put the slope over Crystal Palace. Very inconsistent team.
Crystal Palace is a very right, Brian, inconsistent team, but I think that one will take that game 2-1. Arsenal winning 2-1.
And then
we have to give Zaha 1 goal at least.
Ty?
Yeah, I think I have to concur with other guys. You know, this VAR thing.
That's an excuse. No, the game
Come on, Ty.
Come on, man. You're better than this. Behave yourself, man.
You see, it's not Zaha. It's young. Oh, God, no.
But Zaha gets out a lot of the time.
Come on, man. You're better than this. Behave yourself.
But we're going to beat them anyway. We're still going to
score line. Give us a score line.
We're going to give them a good beating. It will be 3-1.
Very bold.
That's
Roy Hodgson. You know what? With Roy Hodgson, if he's losing a game, he tries not to lose by much.
That's
so he will come out. It's either will come out attacking Arsenal, or he will come out and set out not to lose the game.
Guys,
so be careful with that one.
Are big.
Wow. We move on to the new week, new Premier League week on Saturday. Very quickly, gents. Saturday morning, lunchtime. The first game is Wolverhampton versus West Brom. That's a Midlands derby. West Midlands derby. Wolverhampton, West Brom. Quick numbers. Let's go.
Wolverhampton win that one 3-0.
Wolverhampton 3-0. Let's go fresh.
2-1.
Ty?
I'm going with Wolves as well. 1-0.
Tshisa, mute. Mute, Tshisa. Mute. And then we've got afternoon.
Tshisa, mute up here.
We got West Ham Burnley.
Mute.
3 p.m. kickoff.
I'm inclined to go with West 1-0. But they are footballish. Yesterday they struggled against Stockport, which was very disappointing.
And then just to quickly round it up, we'll look at another London derby, Fulham Chelsea. What do you think is winning that one?
Yo, they're both shitty teams at the moment.
Fulham first winning so many games.
Yeah, you know.
It's a 50-50, that one.
I 50-50, although I am more, ngilozwelo kakhulu for Fulham. Scott Parker plays a beautiful game. He's just not winning games. So
I'll go with Chelsea. Fulham don't have goal scorers.
So the next one, we're doing numbers only because we're nearly out of time. Next 30 minutes, numbers only. We've got Aston Villa, Everton.
Everton 1-0.
Let's go next. Fresh.
Everton 2-1.
Ty.
Villa 2-1.
Villa 2-1. And another big game that's going to be taking place will be Leicester City versus Southampton. Numbers.
Draw 1-0.
Fresh.
Leicester 1-0.
Ty.
I'll go with Leicester as well. 2-1.
2-1 Leicester. Last two big games that I see happening here will be Liverpool, Manchester United. We spoke about how Liverpool wins, so that's fine. Liverpool 2-1, so that's okay. Then we've got Arsenal versus Newcastle.
Okay, we get that. We won't come back to that.
Arsenal, Newcastle
Arsenal
on Monday.
Win.
Arsenal
Easy win.
Arsenal, Newcastle.
Arsenal 1-0 win. Grudgingly.
Arsenal will win again. It's 2-0.
2-0. There you go. That brings the end. That brings us to the end of our program. Tuesday night, when we come back, there'll be a couple of games: West Brom and Wolverhampton, West Brom and West Ham, and then Leicester City and Chelsea to look forward to on Tuesday next week. But of course, we'll be talking about Liverpool and Manchester United and how Liverpool will still be topping the table. That'll be fascinating. Guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Take care, boys.
Goodbye.
All the best. Ciao.